weekend. I definitely want to talk about Fade in the Water. Yeah, man. I think we should start there before we get to the wrestling. If y'all can just bear with us, this is a cultural event that has gripped our nation. Um, Fade in the Water. James, how did you first see Fade in the Water? I saw
I
it
mean,
yesterday and I was like, wow.
I saw a bunch of stuff about Alabama and Montgomery and a boat and videos, and I was like, I don't have time for this, but it kept being on my timeline that was going by it and trying to ignore it. I was like, all right, what is this? So then I click on it and obviously, I see a black man getting jumped by a bunch of white boys. And I was like, oh, great. It's one of them videos or whatever else. And then the next thing I know, I see another video from another angle, and it looked to be the same doc, and all of a sudden like it turns into a good old fashioned race fight. And was like, I was like, oh, they can't. Where did they come from? I saw one dude in the background, but he was like they tried to break him up when they're on top of the dude. But then all of a sudden, I was like, where do all these people come from? And then I was like, all right, let me go through, because obviously this has been a thing people are talking about. Let me go on my timeline and read all this stuff. Now I put it all together, obviously, and then also there is one tweet that has like three videos that basically give you the gist of it. But it basically turned into like
These
the
brothers were
most
pop.
captivating race fight I've seen since the Malice in the Palace, to where I was watching this thing and I couldn't stop watching it over and over. And then like as there's new like angles of it, I'm now want to watch that to put the add to contextualize what all happened, and like rewatch it to see like every individual actor that's on the screen and how they're behaving at particular times and particular moments. Like,
So we should probably like fill in the
probably
context
okay. So
a
hold
little.
on, really, but then get right back to you. Like I just mentioned, Malice in the Palace, something that's really rewatchable. I have not seen Twitter put together a piece of narrative by the collective to all talk and rewatch and see individual actors in the entire thing since January 6th. That's the
Amazing.
last time I remember people being like, hey, what this video, this here, this person did this here, and that person moved over here, and this was in this, and then he was in this room, and then they were outside, and all like this is crazy. And it was all, and this wasn't like, it's something that nearly as serious as like, oh my god, there was an insurrection on the Capitol. This was just a standard old like good old fashioned race fight. So yeah, go ahead, Rich.
So like the whole thing was, it was like on this dock in like
Yep,
Montgomery, Alabama, one of the
yep,
blackest places in America.
yep.
So these guys do not want to move their boat for this incoming
Yeah.
boat to dock, and there are a lot
A
of
big boat, like a one of those like Ferris type of deals.
yeah, it's like a ferry or whatever, and like there are people that work on the boat, and then something happened to where there was a guy that was trying to ask him to move the boat. People said they wouldn't move. It broke down to a fight. This guy throws his hat up, and that's like almost the damn bat signal. Like, and it's this black guy fighting one on like seeming like four or five at this
Something like
point,
that.
and then there's a dude that hops off and swims to go over there
Yeah,
to save this man. There's
yeah,
another guy that comes. There's one single black guy walks in, tries to break it up, and
right.
then like the Avengers, they start coming. Like they start showing up one by
So
one.
so basically, the guy that was swimming, that got onto the dock late after the other guy that was like
He swam for
watched
that
from the
smoke.
other side, broke it up. Like he had got up on the thing. It was already all it had got close to what you call de-escalation, or basically like the party of white people basically got away, or was walking away. So then basically what happens is like you figure out like holy shit, this dude swam from he basically dove off of the big riverboat and then like swam to the dock. And then by the time he had got there and got up there, the big boat had like basically docked itself. And then like there were so many black people that were a part of the security on either on the dock or on the boat. And also people that were just on the black people that were on the boat that were seeing this and saw that like this black man was done wrong. And basically what they said, you know, in the words on heart, enough is enough and it's time for a change. And they came out there. They came down, and as you said, they pulled up like the Avengers. Look, man, I had tons of jokes. I said, look, they were like the Avengers, the way they assembled to whoop some ass. They was like Batman, the way they were seeking vengeance on that ass. I had a whole bunch of stuff, man.
And I think like the highlight of this thing is that the gentleman, it's a black gentleman, older gentleman, probably middle age, swinging that chair around, swinging that iron, literally swinging that iron.
Yeah, but that was like the basically like the third dust up or restarting of the fight.
Yeah, it just kept starting in a little different areas.
The first thing is the incident where they get jumped. The second one is when when everybody gets off the boat and they're basically saying we finna whoop these white folks' ass. And by that point in time, they had came, and the second startup is like the party with the boat, the white folks with the boat that had their boat moved, and jumped the security guard. They had got onto their boat and they thought the shit was over. And then they saw, as
it
you said,
was not.
When they saw Wakanda pull up, it was like they was trying to cop pleas, and them pleas were fell upon deaf ears, and they got their ass whooped off their boat. And man, like it was when I mean it was bad. I mean like the women that weren't actually like fighting, the white women that were trying to stop their white men from jumping on this black man. It didn't matter.
They had to get it too.
Because look, these queens came off that boat and they said, we don't give a damn if you try to de-escalate or stop your white man or not. You ain't stop them, so therefore you finna feel this thunder. And man,
amazing.
It was like Thor was out that bitch, and all that lightning was coming down. And they threw one of them ended up seeing their man get whooped. So and was overwhelmed. So she decided to start throwing punches. The second she threw punches, she was, I think, the one in like the mint green dress. The second mint green finally hopped in, she was hopped right back out like some hokey pokey shit. She grabbed them two black women, grabbed her ass and beat her ass. There was another white woman that was trying to help out the girl in the mint green. Man, woman with the blonde hair, the short blonde hair and security, she dragged her ass over by the edge of the dock and then threw her ass in the water. And I was like, oh my God.
I'd be remiss to mention the play-by-play commentary we were getting is from the Montgomery residents recording this. Just added to it. This is just a beautiful piece of cinema, literally. Man.
The best cinema I saw all weekend.
Oh yeah.
What you talking about?
Yeah. I remember. I seem to remember. Like. And with the tradition of race fights, the chairs being involved. I remember, was that Randy Moss that had the chair, or was that Iverson? Oh, okay, Iverson.
The Iverson was a bowling alley deal, and they said in the story was that Iverson threw a chair, so he's the one that got in trouble. And it's like everybody's fighting, but everyone can ID him as the one that's the McDonald's All-American is the one that gets ID throwing the chair.
Amazing, but I saw a lot of people practicing their chair techniques and all that. I'm gonna have to brush up on mine as well. I was fascinated by this whole thing, and it was just pretty funny. Like it was like, well, the bills immediately came due, and these people thought it was sweet, and then they was just outnumbered.
Look, it was all fun and games as far as just watching it until the chair came out. Because once that chair hit that white lady and basically shrank her down, like you remember like Super Mario Brothers, like you get the first mushroom and you go from little Mario to big Mario, and then like you get hit and then you go right back to little Mario. She got hit with that chair and her ass went doo, 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 and went back to little Mario. Buddy bopped the shit out of her. And like once it happened, I was like, oh, and then look. Police were out there just, is trying to get people to stop. They weren't deep enough to get them to stop. But once that chair basically came from the top down upon that white lady, they grabbed that man and said, "No, this is over. We're stopping this immediately now. Our effort wasn't enough. We haven't done enough to stop this. We have to put people in cuffs now." And they basically cuffed that dude, and then they roped up all that group of white folks, and then waited for more people to come up to stop them. But they had man.
In the words of the Jigga Man, we don't believe you. You need more people.
I mean, bro, I didn't obviously some of the camera angles weren't good enough, but like some of the camera angles you believe that like once the Avengers pulled up and they tried to walk away and they got swung on and they was descending upon them. It looked like one of them, the one that tried to tackle the security guard, all of a sudden he wanted to dive his ass in the water, like they were the Wu-Tang Killer bees, like if I jump in the water, they won't come sting me, right? And it's like, bro, you ain't see Aquaman just a second ago. We'll get your ass in that water.
See
ain't
murder.
Yes, yes, I saw that.
Yes.
I saw someone call that man LaMichael Phelps. I fucking howled.
See. Like I didn't know they did that. Like that had to be what was going through these people's minds. I didn't know they swam. Yes, Scuba Gooding Jr. Yes,
oh my
yes,
fucking
saw that
God.
as well.
Scuba Gooding Jr.
Yes. Oh, well, yeah. They literally
God.
swam for that smoke.
What I will say is this: if you go back, like I said, I watched this a few times to try to see every individual actor. Next time you watch it, the third and final part of the fight, when the chair gets brought out, when you see that the white lady, how she ended up on the ground because she ended up getting the beats from two black women. When you see when that chair strikes down upon her, the way one of the black women reacted, it was reminiscent of the way that KG celebrated when Vince Carter jumped over that 7-foot motherfucker in the Olympics. Like how Vince Carter jumps over whatever his name is, 7'2", Fred Weiss, and then Kevin Garnett somehow is more fucking hyped up for the dunk than Vince Carter was, just because he was on the court at the same time. When you go back and watch this and see the way that this black woman celebrated, I was like, holy shit. She was really about this. She was really about putting
I saw people taking pictures with the chair, putting it on IG. I saw people that had shirts pressed up within hours. Yeah, man. And this is crazy. And I don't think it's gonna leave Twitter. I think it's gonna last a couple more days, honestly.
I mean, it's gonna last forever.
Yeah, true.
I mean, because also some of the jokes coming out because, like, you know, there was a I think it was a New York Times article a few years ago when they had a blub or say a flub on a typo on a particular article about having a bigger Navy.
Correct.
And people started making Rihanna jokes, and people would talk about the USS dead ass and all that kind of stuff. And the next thing you know,
Timberland boot pulling up.
And next thing you know, there's your nigga Navy right there for your ass. Oh man, man.
I love it. Oh man. So let's move on, man. Let's get to the shits.